Rouse's Markets is voted best grocery store in New Orleans, best grocery store in Baton Rouge, Mississippi, Gulf Coast, Thibodeau, Houma, Hammond, Lake Charles, Mobile, year after year. Thank you for choosing us best grocery store on the Gulf Coast. Number one. Thank you.
Thank you.
The number one grocery store
In Mississippi, Alabama,
Louisiana. 1 million customers a week can't be wrong. Welcome to Rouse's.
Hello and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. Again, your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it. And the one thing I love about the theater is that it will find ways to find you. And you can actually find a very new experience that the theater is doing. And they're doing something called After Dark. And so this is something really, really cool. As we welcome into the studio back again, Steve Crispino. Steve, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Sitting with him, Miss Lauren Brizendine. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And sitting next to her is Miss Mitzi Reeve. Thanks for joining us, Mitzi.
Good morning.
And so Mitzi, of course, representing co-owner of Lumiere, which is where this is going to take place. And so Lauren and Steve, of course, in the show. But Steve, let's talk a little bit about this experience that the theater is trying to do, bringing in maybe a little bit of a different audience, providing more theater in our area.
Yeah, the theater has gotten into, I guess in the past few years, you know, we were closed for several years over COVID and the storm. But before that, we had done a few shows that we called After Dark. Right. And it shows that may not be as appropriate as what we would normally put in for our season. You know, it's a little more edgy, as you can see from the cover you put up. It's called My First Time, and that's exactly what it's about. And so this year, it's pretty aggressive. We're trying to do 3 shows. My First Time, the Vagina Monologues, and what did we say? Extremities.
Right.
So it's just a little bit different. There's not as many performances. There's only 4, and we have historically done them off-site. So this one, we appreciate Lumiere partnering with us on this and shutting down their restaurant effectively at night for 4 nights for us. I mean, people can come, they can eat, drink, hopefully a lot to get through this.
Right.
And then the show starts about 7:30, and we will continue to serve drinks throughout the show, and people may need them.
Right. And so people can eat and drink in addition to the cast, because they're going to need that as well.
We will. We may even need your skills as a social worker after we're done.
I'm considering blocking my time off for each night for some of the trauma, the trauma-based drama. That we may experience here. But I like the fact that we're actually, edgy's not a bad thing.
It's not.
And in this case, this is an adult theme, and we want people to know that it's an adult theme. It's not like going to brunch at Lumiere on a Sunday, like we would normally do with some beautiful and smooth jazz music being played. This one's a little bit more risque.
It is, and it's disclosed. When you buy your tickets, it clearly says this is a whole different experience if you've been to the theater, and it's okay. It's I agreed to be in the show before I read the script, and then I showed up to the read-through and went, "Oh, OMG. No. I have to say this."
Right. And so now you have to share your first time, interestingly enough. And so, Lauren, it's got to be fun for you doing this play.
Yes. I tell a lot of people that even if you're not a theater person, this is still a great show to go to. And it's just been a lot of fun. It's very well written. It'll make you laugh and kind of make you turn your head a little bit. So
make you turn red a little bit.
Yeah. So it's great to bring that experience to the community. And I think it's going to be well received.
For those of us who have done some of these things, and, both Steve and I have had to wear underwear on stage. We've had some interesting.
Well, I always wear underwear, but just underwear.
Sometimes it's without pants, and so those things at the theater that people have expected. This is something a little bit different. So it's My First Time. There are going to be 4. The show is going to run 4 times. August 7th through August 10th, and again at Lumiere. Tickets are only $25. That includes dinner and drinks. And we can.
It does not.
I'm sorry. Does not include dinner and drinks.
Correct.
But Steve said if you go, he's going to ask me to pay. So if I'm there, I'll be glad to help out with that. But tickets can be purchased through the website at HoumaLittleTheater.com. They recommend that it's an 18 and above show.
Oh, yes.
Most definitely.
Right.
I will tell you the reverse of that. My dad is 81.
Yes.
He came last night because I wanted somebody in the audience to give us some reaction. Since we don't have an audience yet, I just said, Dad, can you just come, and we're practicing. We're still refining a few things, but can you just come and see what it's about? He did most of it like this or like this. It was fairly entertaining.
Yes, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and so very often for those of us who have done theater, we know that the reactions we get from the audience is very often a lot of the joy. I'm assuming that the reactions you get from the audience may be a shock and awe.
There will be reactions, most definitely.
And one of the things that my dad did last night, and it kind of helped us, is we expect a lot of oohs, ahs, laughter. But my dad made a comment at some point, and I thought, with people drinking,
right,
and the stuff we're saying, I really think we're going to get some.
There may be some audience participation,
exactly.
But still
unsolicited audience participation.
Correct.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm awfully excited that we're doing these kinds of things. I can't help but really be excited about the show as I see my first time. We don't ask people in the audience to share how late it was for them, do we?
Yes.
There is some audience participation.
Different kind.
Not live.
Not live.
Anonymous.
Okay.
Yes.
So again, thank you, Jason. My first time, written by Ken Davenport and people just like you. August 7th through 10th. Tickets are on sale now. It's my first time being held at the wonderful restaurant and blues bistro, Lumiere. Really excited about that. So thank you, Mitzi, for being able to do that.
No problem.
Lauren, thank you for saying yes and agreeing to do this with Steve.
Indeed.
And Steve, thanks for coming back to the stage with your first time. Interestingly enough, we look forward to it, and I know everybody watching sure does as well. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
And that will do it for this particular edition of Bayou Time, but don't go anywhere. A whole lot more local programming right here on HTV.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.